మిగతా 3000 ఓకే కొనేపోయావా ఆ కంచం ఏదో
Esteemed President of ASBM University and Chairman of the Symposium, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, respected guests, delegates, invited guests, members of the faculty and staff, coordinators of the Symposium, and my student colleagues. A very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you to the inaugural ceremony of the Virtual National Symposium on AI and Decision Science 2021 with the theme Smart Decision, Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. I now request the coordinator, Professor Abhijit Mandal, to introduce the eminent guest for the day.
Thank you, Shivani. Esteemed President, sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, respected guests and delegates, and all the participants. We are heartily welcome to you, our National Symposium on AI and Decision Science. Dr. Rajesh Sharma belongs to the Indian Telecom Service of 1988 batch at Department of Telecom, Ministry of Communication and IT, Government of India. He is a fellow of Indian Institute of Management, Indore, in Information System area and completed his PGDM from MBI Gurgaon and B from SGS ITS Indore. Dr. Sharma having experience of more than 30 years in telecom technologies in operation, planning and rollout of wireless, wireline and broadband technologies in the Department of Telecom and Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Currently, as Deputy Director General at Department of Telecom, New Delhi, since 27 April 2018, which is the nodal division dealing with the public sector unit of the Department of Telecom under the Ministry of Communications. And he is serving as the Government Nominee Director on board of Tata Communication Limited since 5th March 2019 and ITI Limited since 14th August 2018. He is having keen interest in academic research in field of electronic delivery of services, mobile governance, electronic governance, business process, re-engineering, technology acceptance, interoperability, service quality, green IT, and sustainability. Case studies and book reviews on this topic in renowned international and national journals. He has presented papers in several international academic conferences in Europe, USA, and India, and guest faculty of IIM Indore and Delhi Technological University for teaching academic courses. We are grateful to you, sir, for your gracious presence. I welcome you, sir, to this symposium. Next, our guest of honor, Sri Anvesh Dasri, did his electrical engineering in Purdue University, West Lafayette, USA. During his education, he had worked as an intern at Dell Computers. During his internship, he worked in the office of CTO to bring in latest technologies in the field of personal computers. After graduating from Purdue University, he joined electronics as firmware engineer. In his career, he is instrumental in development of various products. Currently, he is working as vice president in R&D electronics. In his current role, he is responsible for bringing new innovative products. He has expertise in design and development of innovative products in the field of electrical, electronic, instrumentation engineering, and software. Till now, he is part of development of various products like data loggers, data acquisition system, health-safe system, etc. These products cater various domains like railways, power, telecom, water, and weather. He got trained on best industrial practice in various countries like Japan. He continuously follows the latest trends of various technologies by visiting actively associated with various associations, and he served as chairman of Young Indian CII Vijayawada chapter during the year of 2016. We thank you, sir, for agreeing to be with us, and I'll welcome you for this symposium, sir. Our next guest of honor, Sri Bala Service Limited, over 22 years as a principal consultant and chief product officer for high-tech C2 engineering team. He is a thought leader and practitioner in enterprise architecture, trustworthy computing and technologies enterprise platform solution, artificial intelligence, performance, and scalable architecture. Mr. Bala is passionate in driving digital technology initiatives and building the solution products and platforms of the future by leveraging digital core components such as cloud, artificial intelligence, business analytics, DevOps, enterprise architecture, modern workplace, and digital marketing with TCS. Mr. Bala is also driving the architecture of technology community initiative with TCS through coaching, mentoring, and masters in computer application from University College of Engineering, Osmania. He was ranked university first, and is Open Group Master IT Certified Architect and serving as board member in Open Group Certifying Authority. He received accolades for his cloud architectural strength and published his papers in IEEE and delivered over 500 technical talks in IEEE, Institute of Engineers, Open Group Conference, Computer Society of India, FTCCI, Microsoft Tech Ed, and technology events. Mr. Bala is working group member in Open Group for Cloud and Open Platform 3 working groups and serving as a treasurer of IEEE Hyderabad section and vice chairman for Computer Society of India. Mr. Bala published several articles in reputed journals and conferences, and his credentials and serving as a board member for Open Group Certifying Authority, serving as vice chairman for CSC Hyderabad chapter, serving as treasurer IEEE Hyderabad section, serving as co-chairman for Digital Information and Technologies Committee, FTAPCCI, life member of Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, first chair IEEE Computer Society, Chapter Hyderabad section, served as secretary IEEE Hyderabad section, founding board member of CMG India. He also backed like certified design thinking trainer from Royal College of Arts, London, Microsoft Azure certified architect, Microsoft ALM challenge winner in 2010, Microsoft Tech Ed TOP architect winner 2010 and 2019, Microsoft certified professional developer as a web developer, and MCSD as a web application. His technical expertise in artificial intelligence, cloud computing, blockchain, enterprise architecture, digital marketing, DevOps, modern workplace. Also in the different service sector, like enterprise strategic plan, strategic roadmap, execute roadmap programs, enterprise architecture, architecture assessment and reviews, design thinking, and also in technology, product evolution, and IT application roadmap. We are obliged to you, sir, for your gracious presence, and I welcome you, sir, to this symposium.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's come to our president, ASBM University Professor Dr. Biswajeet Pattanayak. Professor Pattanayak is a passionate promoter of creativity and commitment, institution builder, and management guru for excellence. Professor Pattanayak was a professor in the area of human resource management and organizational behavior and chairperson of human resource management area in Indian Institute of Management, Indore. He attained the full professorship of IIM at the He also had a rare distinction of belonging to the director of a national institute at the age of 37. He has also worked with Steel Authority of India Limited, National Institute of Industrial Engineering, NITI, Mumbai, Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, and Acer Group. Professor Pattanayak is the founder, president of ASBM University. As he is the head to our ASBM University, it's a very difficult task of my part to introduce him. With these few words, I welcome you, sir, to this symposium. Let's come to our Vice Chancellor of ASBM University, Professor Dr. Kalyan Shankar Ray. He is having worked in different verticals. Professor Roy explains why the education sector is the best to work in. Education domain has given an enriching experience and has helped him prosper over years. He believes that every person should have an entrepreneurial mindset to generate new innovative ideas. Thus, he has chosen this holy profession and platforms to express himself. He is a constant source of inspiration to all the members of faculty and staff of this institute. Again, with these few words, I welcome you, sir, to this symposium.
Thank you, sir. I now request our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kalyan Sankar, to deliver his welcome address.
Thank you, Shibani. Honorable President of ASBM University, Professor Biswajeet Pattanayak, our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Rajesh Sharma, guests of honor, Sri Anvesh Dasari and Sri P. Balaprasad, the coordinators of this symposium, Professor Abhijit Mandal and Dr. Jhun Swain. I welcome you all to this symposium, this special symposium on AI and digital science. You wake up in the morning to the sound of alarm. You feel lazy, you don't want to get up from the bed and say, Alexa, switch off the alarm. Alexa, play Mira Bhajan. This is artificial intelligence in action. Of course, Alexa is not AI per se, but Alexa uses AI technology and techniques to become smart and more versatile. Life is gradually getting full of AI, from sanctions of bank loan to crop harvest. You name it, and AI is there. In fact, AI is gradually invading all spheres of life, many a time unknown to most of us, unobtrusively. Last evening, I was going through a recent publication, HBS 10 most trades for 2021. There, AI is estimated to add 13 trillion US dollars to the global economy over this decade. So many organizations, mostly large corporates, they are now investing big in AI. They're investing millions in data infrastructure, modern development, and overall supporting infrastructure. In fact, it seems there is a craze now for AI. Just I remember as in the 80s of the last century, when computers were introduced in our country first. I remember a small incident, would like to narrate it. There was a small city, and a businessman was there, a Sethji. When he heard about computers, he purchased a computer. His competitors, the other businessmen, they came to know that the Sethji has purchased a computer. They are wondering, what is Sethji doing with a computer? How can computer help us with business? What's the role of computer in business? So they were very much inquisitive. They all decided to visit Sethji. And they told Sethji, Sethji was very happy. He said, why don't you come in the evening after the office is closed? They came at around 8 p.m. They went to Sethji's chamber. They started asking main subject. What is this computer? है कहाँ? कहाँ है आपका computer? Then Sethji said, oh, है ना, मैं दिखाऊंगा आप लोगों को. Then they said, what do you do with the computer? No, I do not know. I have a computer officer who works with the computer. Then they asked how much was the price. And those days, computers were new, so the price was astronomical. In any case, they went to the office, and to the end of the office, there was a small chamber. It was air conditioned. Remember, those days, air conditioning was very rare. But computers those days required air conditioning, so that chamber was air conditioned. They went inside. Young boy was sitting there and doing something on the computer. So Sethji and all his friends, they went behind him. That boy got up when he saw his Sethji. They said, Sethji said, no, sit down, you do your own work. They went and they saw, they peered at the computer, that boy was doing something. Nobody could understand. And Sethji said, see, this boy is the most sincere among all my staff members. Everybody has gone home. But this what the boy was doing was simply playing games on the computer. This is visible in AI now. We do not understand what AI. After all, artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity of human beings. AI is definitely showing promise in small pilot studies. For example, particular customer segment, but not in meeting big business challenges like optimizing the whole customer journey. Big investment in AI has not resulted in big gains in the balance sheet. I'll give a small example. Now, let's say a particular department takes some decision based on AI. That decision then goes to the top man in the organization perfecting. And I, as the top leader, find that my intuition, my experience, my so-called expertise says something else. I vacillate and ultimately go for my own intuition. since I have not been able to develop trust in AI. So, though life is now full of AI, we have not been able to make the best of it. And to my mind, there are three reasons. The first is lack of awareness, especially among the top leaders. They are unable to trust AI. The second is the present organizational culture, structure, and ways of working in most corporates are not supportive of AI. AI is fine, but then our culture is not attuned to AI. We do not believe AI. Third reason is, and a very, very important reason, there is lack of expertise and talent in using AI. We grossly lack trained manpower to run the AI machinery. ASBM as a university is conscious of this. We are conscious of our responsibility towards the society at large. Hence, we have launched a master's program, MS in Artificial Intelligence and Digital Science. We are also offering supportive programs, BSc in Data Science, MS in Information Technology Management, and BSc in ITM. Industry will have large demand for trained manpower in AI. In fact, the SBR book that I was telling about, I was reading last evening, it predicts that there will be huge demand for trained manpower in AI in the years to come. I'm sure our program that we have launched now will create industry-ready manpower with expertise to meet industry requirement in AI. This symposium, in fact, is basically meant for creating awareness about artificial intelligence, how it can open the doors to great possibilities and artificial intelligence. We have today with us as our chief guest, Dr. Rajesh Sharma, ITS, Deputy Director General, Senior Deputy Director General Telecommunications, Government of India. We have two veterans in AI as our guests of honor, Sri Agwes Dasari, Vice President R&D at Photonics Systems, and Sri P. Balaprasad, Chief Products Officer at Tata Consultancy Services. I welcome our chief guest and the guests of honor. I express my sincere gratitude to them, and I throw this house open for their deliveries. I also take this opportunity to welcome all the participants to this symposium, and I hope that this symposium will not only create awareness, it will also make us understand what AI is and how we can make the best use of AI. Thank you.
Thank you,
Now
sir.
over to
I would now request the guest of honor and eminent speaker, Sri Anvesh Dasari, Vice President, R&D, Electronic System Private Limited, to address the assembly.
Good morning, all. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Good morning to all of you, and I thank Vice Chancellor Dr. Kalyan Shankar Roy Garu, as well as the President Biswajeet Pattanayak Garu of ASBM University, and also the guests, and also other guest of honors like Balaprasad Garu and also Rajesh Sharma Garu for joining today. And so today I would like to talk this opportunity to talk on the main objective of today's discussion, which is data science and artificial intelligence and how that is being utilized for smart decision making. So I represent the industry body. So today, Electronics, we are working in IoT and Internet of Things technology for last 1 decade, and we are more into data acquisition from past 3 decades. So we are a team of 800 people, and we are into product development and building smart solutions. So in today's discussion, I would like to talk more about why AI and data science is important for every industry today. If we look at some of the billion-dollar companies and their valuations, so these are some of the retail big giants in US and also internationally, and their valuation in 2006. And today, in 2016, some of them have already got bankrupt, and some of them have been closed, and companies like Amazon or Flipkart have grown significantly. If we look at the valuation of Amazon, from a 17 billion, they have grown to 820 billion. So how is this exponential growth possible? That is because these companies have embraced the future technologies and have mapped it to their product portfolio. Even if we look at the how the people are accepting the digital across the world, so these are the some of the statistics. In the world, there are around 7.67 billion population. In that, there is mobile penetration of 5.1 billion. And also, there are more than 57% population who are available on online and also using social media and all. Similarly, if we look at the statistics of India, with 1.3 billion population, even we have now internet penetration of like 500 million. So what is all this significance is, we are now moving more into digital. In digital, we generate a lot of data. And once we have a lot of data, data science and artificial intelligence plays a key role. So if we look at how the companies are being evaluated and how are the unicorns, we call it very popularly in the industry. So if we look at the unicorn club, there is a lot of new companies which have been started in very last few years. Like if you see 14 to 15, there are significant number of companies who have become more than $1 billion valuation. So if you look at what is common in all these companies is, every company has embraced the power of digital technologies as well as AI and data science. So if we talk about, like as a sir opening remarks have mentioned, how Alexa is being used in everyday life, or how Uber or Ola is helping us to connect the riders, or even if we talk about like collaborative working or even document translators, everywhere the AI is becoming the very, very important in product development. So is AI only for tech companies? That is completely wrong. Today, AI is being used in every industry vertical. So here, I mean, the size may be very small, but what I want to clearly say is every industry is going to be affected with AI. If we don't embrace this change, and if we don't incorporate this in our products, we will not be relevant in future. The companies which we have seen from $1 billion have become bankrupt in less than a decade. That kind of impact is going to be seen for every industry. So we have to understand this and start using AI in various different ways. So what is happening to AI, or if we look at a small, how the products are evolving with AI, everyone has known about Google car, autonomous car, and a lot of people have heard about Tesla, where it is known to be an autonomous car. But it is not just being only used by cars. It is being used in different areas. If you look at here, there is physical and also virtual. And this grid is also like, which is obvious, that means which we have already seen, and unobvious means which we are about to see in the coming days. So here, robots, drones, driverless cars, we have already seen. Virtual personal assistants like Siri and Cortana or something are like similar to virtual personal assistants. Now, even there is an evolving of smart advisors. Let's say if you are working in stock market, nowadays these smart advisors will tell when to buy a stock or when to sell a stock based on the historical knowledge of the stock market, as well as the price fluctuations, as well as considering the global other scenarios as well. And also there is also a lot of translators. Let's say today I want to speak in French, that is possible with this translation of speech to text or like different other scenarios. Then now every asset is becoming intelligence and autonomous. So these are the some of the areas like where AI is being used extensively. The year 2020 is known for COVID, but there is one positive thing which has happened due to COVID, if we want to really think positively, is the technology has been being used more aggressively. The digital technologies, especially IoT and AI, has been used by a lot of companies in this year. So what is the impact of these technologies if we want to see? So now, as I said, there are more than 4 billion people are connected, and this has a market opportunity of $4 trillion. And there are more than 25 million apps, which also includes AI, and 25 billion devices are connected to the internet. That means every person is using at least 3 or 4 smart devices which are connected to internet. And all these devices are creating 50 trillion GBs of data. So this much data, if we want to crunch it, it is not possible to human. So there we need power of machine learning, AI, and data science. When I talk about data science, I want to really where to start. We are in academics, how to build the capabilities. If we want to talk about, this is a Gartner spectrum which talks about 4 different types of analytics: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Descriptive kind of analytics will help us understand what has happened. Let's say there is a failure, or let's say we want to know remotely what is happening to this asset. All this is possible with descriptive analytics. Here, we need some kind of human input to take the action. So with this data, we will process it and then we will take the action. In diagnostic, it will help us in identifying the root cause of failure. Let's say today, the light didn't switch on. Is it because of failure of power, or is it some internal problem with the fan? So that kind of analytics we can do with diagnostic analytics. Then the most common and now more used use case in industry is predictive analytics. So today, the asset is going to tell us, let's say we have got a huge furnace or there is a power plant, the machine in this power plant will tell us when the asset is going to fail, and then it will ask us to go and repair it. Or you imagine a use case where in our homes, the AC or the service technician will come and say us that in next 2 days, your AC is going to be failed, so I want to come and repair it. This is the kind of use case which is now becoming very popular. And finally, it is prescriptive, where everything will be more automized and made autonomous. So even the system itself will try to control the decisions and do it more autonomously. So the more value we have is in the prescriptive kind of analytics, but we have to start our journey from descriptive and move on to build capabilities to build prescriptive analytics. So maybe now I will focus more on some of the use cases we are using internally in our product development. So AI and data science can be utilized in every industry in multiple areas. One area is in product development. That means we have to embrace this technology into our existing product. We in Electronics, we work with railways, and our products are installed in every station across the country. So these equipments are used for train control and operations. So today, in one of our product, we are monitoring the health of an asset called point machine. Point machine is an asset used to move a train from one track to other. So here, like a heart ECG, we have identified that there is a correlation between the healthy operation of a point and a failed operation of a point. So what we are trying to do is, there is an IoT device which is equipped into this machine. This records data continuously, and here we use the techniques of interpolation and also clustering. And in AI and machine learning, we use like random forester algorithm to train the model to predict the failure. And then the software is deployed at the customer premises. So this is the data science. In data science, what we have done is we identify different signatures and how the signature is correlating to various failures. So the signature is different for different failures. So once in real time today, what happens is the IoT device generates the data. The AI model will correlate the signature to the failure signature. If it is matching, it is going to say what is the failure, so that we are able to identify the cause of failure and also reduce the time to detect the failure. Similarly, the other use case we have built with AI is adaptive traffic control system. Today, a lot of our traffic signals are in fixed time nature. They doesn't understand how is the traffic density. It is only pre-programmed. Sometimes there won't be any traffic to that lane. Still, there is a green signal for another 10 seconds. So, but with the power of AI today, there is a machine learning camera which detects the vehicles and then adjusts the timing accordingly. So this is the complete algorithm for that. And also, even it can be, the other benefit of this is, today we see that a lot of emergency vehicles getting stuck. So these cameras can even detect that and give more green time so that the traffic gets cleared for the emergency vehicles. So these are some of the use cases of AI being utilized in the products. So even this is the prediction of the future forecast of traffic for various lanes. So we can see that the purple line is the predict forecast and the green line was the actual. So the more days we are doing this, the more accurate the model is. And even the other use case I want to bring in here is on the smart mailbox. This we have done for the Singapore mailbox. So what here is, generally the postman goes periodically to the mailboxes, but in some boxes there may not be any post, or in some boxes it may be overly crowded or overly filled. So what we have is a device which informs the state of the mailbox, and it sends this to the central place. There, with the machine learning as well as AI, we give the route map to the postman so that his journey is more optimized, and also we use the resource more efficiently so that he doesn't travel to the post box where there is no post. So this is the kind of use cases where we are saving the resources and making ourselves more operationally efficient. Then I want to talk about how the data science or visualization is also being utilized. So here we did a dashboard for the intelligent transport or the highway authorities. So this is the data of the accidents and how it is day-wise, how is it vehicle-wise, and where is it located, and also what is the victim vehicle, what is the time of day the accident's happening, or what is the day, is it Sunday or weekends it is happening more, or where the more blind spots are there in the city, so that this information is helping the traffic to take a better decisions, so that the impact of decision is more, so that it is not based on someone's intuition they're taking the decision. It is more scientific, and the effect can be seen by all the citizens in the city. So this is all. Similarly, we also use this data science for our own operational excellence. Today, we make more than 50 different products in electronics. So all these products require, like, there is an item or a catalog or inventory of 6,000 items. So every day we procure 200 numbers, and our inventory is like more than 5 crores, and we can spend more than 50 or 40 crores into the procurement. So to have more optimized decision and all this, it is only possible today with AI and data science. Today, I am unable to imagine a day without having to run this without these softwares. That is the kind of dependency we are having, and it is giving more efficiency in operations. And today, in electronics, we have various dashboards for every department so that we take more data-driven decisions in all our operation decisions. So these are the use cases of AI and data science. So what I want to conclude is AI and data science is required for our own products as well as our own operational excellence. So thank you for time, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now request the guest of honor and eminent speaker, Sri Bala Prasad Pedigari, Chief Product Officer, High-Tech CTO Engineering Team at Tata Consultancy Services, Hyderabad, to kindly deliver his lecture.
Thank you, Shivani. First of all, before I share my presentation, I would like to greet the entire organizing team of National Symposium on Data Science and AI. It's indeed one of the most important focus area for many of the industries today. Respected Dr. Biswajeet Pattanayak, Dr. Kalyan Shankar Ray, and my guest of honor, Anvesh Dasri, and Avijit Mandal, and rest of the other dignitaries. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I'll just take a minute to share my presentation. Okay, great. So my name is Bala Pidigari, Chief Product Officer for the High-Tech CTO Engineering Team at Tata Consultancy Services. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to touch upon some of the role of AI in the decision sciences and how significant and important the AI is playing a role in making many of the decisions what we take today. We at TCS have started focusing on developing the systems with machine-first delivery model. We strongly believe that any design you are trying to do, it need to have machine into the first context. If machine is unable to solve, then only the human intervention should be involved. With that thought, I just wanted to start this particular session, what we did for one of the, 1 minute, okay. I hope you are able to hear the voice, if that comes through.
Yes, sir, it's okay, sir. You can hear.
Okay, you can hear. You're not able to hear the voice of the video, right? I don't know. How do I share the... So this is a small conversational AI chatbot which we have created for one of the customers, which involves day-to-day functions of a manager, where right from the entry of his office, he will be able to leverage the mobile device as an entry to converse with the mobile and make a lot of dynamic decisions as he move forward in the day of the journey. Whether it is setting up the meeting or extracting the reports or understanding the results of any particular, like as he's trying to understand the news, he's trying to understand whether he's working or not. And you see there is another story he's trying to see that he is able to converse with the device where he's trying to reset the password. All these things are currently getting done with the AI intervention. where it is using the natural language understanding, and there is a good amount of intervention of the computer vision, good amount of intervention of connecting to the different applications, drawing out the reports, and providing the different insights. So these different capabilities, what you're trying to get is all about meaningfully understanding the data and able to provide the capabilities for the individuals, the managers to perform the decisions. This is increasingly becoming important for many of the managers as they move forward. Now, I believe the voice is not coming through, so I'm just trying to skip this video, but just trying to get into some of the important revolutions which are happening in the AI. Today, if you're trying to look at, as my earlier speaker was speaking about, there is a lot of focus is given on the intelligence, digitization, and capability of doing the things in an autonomous manner. There was a lot of examples took on the autonomous vehicles, Tesla as an example. But many of this growing trend, what you try to do is making the machine to be autonomous, whether you are trying to work in the space of air, road, or water. All these particular vehicles are becoming autonomous by building the intelligence. The ability to perform the things, ability to make the decisions, looking into the different events is becoming more important need of the industry. And they're able to converse with this kind of a platform using the digital technology is also playing a very important role. And all are event driven, and all are very means when you say the events are driven, events are getting generated, there are thousands of events which are getting generated to drive this entire journey of actions. And how quickly you will be able to intercept, how quickly you will be able to sense, act, and respond becomes very important as you try to move as part of the AI revolution. Now, there are specific research focus areas which I wanted to bring it to your attention, where we are trying to work within TCS on the data and decision sciences area, where we are currently seeing that there's a lot of cutting edge technologies which are applied as part of the research across different elements of cognitive intelligence with a specific goal, with either interest in doing the greater automation leading to increasing the efficiencies of activities or amplifying the human expertise for greater effectiveness of an increasingly competitive world what you're trying to look at. Within TCS, our research activities broadly include associated to the cognitive intelligence, where we focus on machine perception and understanding, predictive modeling and insight discovery, intelligent planning and control, and next generation data management. Let me touch upon these elements first. When we try to speak about the machine perception and understanding, this particular research mega trend is clearly associated with the deep learning as we conduct different applied research techniques where we try to seek and adapt to the latest deep learning techniques for sensor analytics and natural language processing on the one hand, while on the other hand, we focus more on the speech, image, and video processing of the applications in robotics and augmented reality, which are also the specific niche areas where we consider the speech therapy or computational pathology play an important role. I'm going to come up in the subsequent slides, I'm going to touch upon some of the specific examples associated to it. The second aspect is about the predictive modeling and insight discovery, where there is a specific need to connect and compose perceptual or low-level models, where we are able to make system-level predictions or discover novel insights which are driving our research and data visualization, as well as on the causal discovery and active learning for better design of experiments. Where we are focusing on the applied research, particularly in the predictive modeling, which is spanning across the different diversified areas, right from the HR analytics to system performance and capacity planning. Modeling the human networks, which is becoming increasingly very important, where we see the growth of the social media, which is including large social workplace activities. Now, as part of the remote collaboration because of the COVID situation, the social workplaces are becoming very prominent. We have an ability to model that large collections of individuals using the statistical or agent-based techniques, where social physics is becoming a predominant interest as part of that. The third aspect is about the intelligent planning and control, where we focus on the traditional operational and strategic planning techniques by increasingly combining the machine learning by leveraging the human experience along the combinatorial optimization techniques, where we try to place the human back in the loop for decision making. At the same time, we are also investigating how decision support could uh, lead to the future, where they're augmented with semi-automated decision systems, which are also increasingly relying on the deep reinforcement techniques or deep reinforcement learning systems, which is driving the success for us. And the fourth aspect is about in the research area where focus is on next generation data management, where we are trying to look into the traditional data management systems are getting redesigned across the industry verticals. You see that starting from the web-based consumer systems, consumer-based applications to the rapidly percolating into the traditional enterprise data centers, there's a huge amount of digital transformation which is getting triggered, which is factoring the need to manage and fuse diverse data sources, like it could be related to the text, structured data, unstructured data, sensors, and images and videos. There is also need to shorten the specific analytical life cycle so that you have an opportunity to derive the inference, make the inferences and derive the insights using the machine learning based algorithms. And also there's a rapid advancements you can drive through the in-memory techniques. And also there's a potential acceleration you can adopt using the new hardware systems, which is really going beyond the GPUs and FPGAs. Today, you also see there is a quantum techniques which are playing an important role in driving the speed. So, basically, our data management research is also trying to collaborate with different leading universities so that we are able to drive this entire area with the advanced knowledge of the customer management, IoT, next generation systems, which are all together to build the new novel data architectures for the future. As I say so, I'm just trying to touch upon a few of the living examples of what we did, which may give you a better insight about the kind of systems what we have developed. So visual AI, what you try to see in the form of the cognitive systems, which has an ability to detect, distinguish objects, read text in real time and take actions like humans, are becoming important in many uh, real time industry scenarios. So in our research, we have done some extensive work in building such kind of perceptive systems, where one of our recent work, which included the automatic detection of the container number of incoming container trucks from the camera feed, which is mounted on the shipping port of the Dubai-based leading port operations. This cognitive model, what we have developed, analyzes the camera feed, captures the entire that container image, identify and localize a specific area where the container number is printed, transforms the entire image of this container number so that it can be correctly identified, read, and also validated so that container number based on specific code pattern, what you try to see on the right hand side. It can indicate the process of allocating or loading or unloading the bay on the port. So all this is completely done on the real time and as a container truck is entering. So that exact information is feeded back so that the container loading and unloading can be happening at that specific location. The second example which I wanted to touch upon is about the Amazon Picking Challenge where we have participated. Where again, this is another example associated with the visual AI in the robotics, where the picker to parts robo is provided a list of items to pick from the store itself. Again, there is a camera which is mounted on the robo streams with captured image, and this stream of images are sent across to the cloud-based cognitive model, which interprets the image to correctly identify the next item to be picked, which really analyzes the right path to reach to that particular item in the different uh, areas and sends the appropriate set of instructions to the robotic arm, which can move according to the instructions and safely pick that item and drop in the shopping cart. In fact, when we have participated, we have placed ahead of the MIT labs with respect to this particular scenario. The another space where we see there is a huge amount of interest which is getting attend is about the audio conversation. You might be saying there are lot many meetings happens in a day to day, and every time the meeting gets concluded, there is a lot of minutes which need to be documented. And it is important that documenting these minutes is definitely a painful task because there are multiple participants speaking specific things. So basically the audio conversation, what is listened, has the three important components, uh, which are like who spoke, what they spoke, and how they spoke. And speech signal processing can really help in unearth these aspects of audio conversations based on cognitive algorithms. So you need to understand the inbound and outbound call of the need for who spoke might not be very acute, especially utilizing the caller ID details and which can be smartly, you can ascertain who spoke because of the caller ID. The need to understand is what and how. And this is becoming a very important interest for many individuals when you're trying to look at. And in our innovation labs, we have the speech and natural language processing specialists who are able to provide that kind of an insights, interpretations and understanding and insights, speaking on and understanding the uh, who spoke, what they spoke, and how they spoke, and interpreting them and documenting and translating the speech to text. And based on the speaking rate, there was also like emotional aspects of the analytics was also touched upon, where we try to understand the abnormality in the inbound call, what is getting the what is getting spoken and what rate it has getting spoken, and distinguish between the normal and abnormal call, so that you can immediately feed the information to the different channels. So the real-time feedback when you try to offer back, let us say for a call center agent who is trying to understand and speak to the customer, sometimes customers are very angry and try to speak at a very high with high emotions. If you can offer some more information to the agent who will be able to determine that emotions and manage those things, you will be able to pacify the customers and control that entire emotional content of the talk, and which really enable the agent to speak right things at right place. And looking into this particular space of thought, because conversation AI plays an important role in the decision space, we have built a intelligent conversational agent framework, which we normally call it as a NADIA, and we internally utilizes this within TCS. This has got a very specific set of specialized independent agents answering specific questions by disseminating the knowledge and also participating in the discussion threads. We see that many bots are there today addressing certain specific set of queries, but in an organization you see that there are multiple intents which exist, and it is not easy to develop so many bots to address, and it is not easy for different employees to converse with so many bots at the same time. And there is a context switching which you need to handle, and that is where the Nadia can help, where it chooses the purpose what we have created, and it has a very good adaptability in as an evidence, which can build up that kind of AI and conversational history, unsupervised way of learning the new things and answering things. And the framework has been developed with understanding the context, understanding the intent, and internally routing that particular question to the specific bots and getting the answers and responding back to the user who is trying to prompt that. So this has been successfully implemented, and basically, but what we see is that it requires a good amount of training data set, which will eventually help to improve the accuracy of the systems. So it's an idea what we have developed is like a multi-agent knowledge management framework using a specific set of specialized independent agent to answer the queries by disseminating the knowledge and also participating in the discussion threads. Now we have implemented this where we have extended our capabilities to the HR policy, research query, schedulers, and technical trends. All these things have been rolled out and integrated into one such kind of a framework. So that is another research area where you see that enterprises will be focusing to develop those things. And another thing which I want to bring you to your attention is a real-time context-aware enterprise framework. Basically today, whenever any enterprise where you're trying to work, any decision sciences when you're trying to associate, what happens is how well you are aware of the contextual understanding about that enterprise. The contextual intelligence plays an important role for getting the real-time discovery of users' immediate information needs, and amplifying that knowledge and delivering that will be very, very critical so that you are able to produce the relevant knowledge insights in the moment of relevance. Because if you provide any kind of a data which is not relevant at that moment, it's not going to play an important role. sharing that relevant knowledge as per the context is very important. And contextual advice has, and we spent some time on that descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Providing the prescriptive recommendations, which is the next best action, plays an important role when you can automate and provide a context-specific execution of specific routine tasks and updates. So basically, the RTCAE framework, what we have developed, enables the AI-driven augmentation of enterprise workforce by automatically detecting the information which is needed in real time and provide relevant contextual insights and advice for improved and informed decision making. It can really help in cognitively learn based on the data from the previous decisions and the conversational history and automate the decision process so that with a very, very limited human involvement, you'll be able to achieve the objective what you really want to achieve. So it's important that application is completely driven with the three important elements. One is aware, assist, and uh, advise. As I move on, I also want to touch upon three or four such important platforms what we created. In very not very very short, I'll going to explain, not in detail. We have developed the iFuse platform, which provides a visual analytics with probabilistic fusion of data for different sources. Basically, it uses the Bayesian networks-based mechanisms to discover any kind of a dependencies between attributes from different data sets, further make inferences and also predict the things and do what if analysis. So this is very, very critical in many, many scenarios what you're trying to look at. It could be related to the sales projections, weather predictions, rolling out offers and recommendations, and promoting any kind of a services in particular aspect of geographies. Another solution what we developed is related to the iPrescribe, the prescriptive analytics for offer to offer economics. Basically, it's a model which truly analyzes the historical buying patterns of the consumers to prescribe offer of high predictability of acceptance for a specific marketing and a campaign budget. Especially, you see at a different intervals, like you can see related to the holiday time and the festive seasons, the specific offers will be rolled out. And rolling out all offers to all customers is of no significance. People will not be able to use it. But rolling out specific offers to the specific buying, looking at the specific buying patterns can motivate that individuals to go for that particular offer. So ability to consume that offer plays an important role as we try to look at. And there is also another platform what we developed called iSense, which is a sensor data analytics platform, which can be used to analyze time series data from industrial IoT-based machine sensors, deriving a lot of useful insights on the usage patterns of different equipments. Health of that equipment plays an important role. So detecting and predicting that functional anomalies and operational inefficiencies or events can help us in doing the predictive maintenance. So you can see that health index of any equipment and predicting the failures of the parts and consumables can really improve the customer satisfaction to a greater level, because you can trigger the predictive and maintenance proactively and ensure that the condition of the particular equipment is completely maintained, optimized. You can optimize the total downtime and also reduce the maintenance cost as you try to move forward. There is also some crowdsourcing platform we built we call it as a Samoha. So basically, it has got a different elements and sources where it is powered by the human and machines together to drive things. So one of the key aspects is that uh, it needed for an erroneous amount of data and train the deep learning algorithms. Sometimes you need to train the data with the error rate more. So you have an opportunity, because when you try to crowdsource this platform, there is an opportunity that many data sets will be erroneous. Noisy data will also can come, and you need to address this limitation by using the crowd to train the machine learning algorithms. So especially when you are trying to look into the space of the recruitment platforms like or human resources platforms like Gigwalk and other things, or Mechanical Turk or Upwork, they all utilize this crowd sourcing capabilities to drive that, and it requires for you to schedule, analyze, and do a lot of data and decision science in that space. Samoha as a utilizes this particular work sharing thing, and there is a lot of things which we try to use as part of the feature extraction classification aspects, translate the text, analyze the speech, so that we'll be able to accurately spot the things, decide the things, and provide the prescriptive actions what need to be done by the systems. Since your voice is not coming through, I'm not getting into this particular thing, but you can look into the how Google AI plays an important role, where a machine bots can play a role in booking an appointment and understand the nuances of the conversations and use the Google duplex technology to drive the decisions on the spot at any point of time. That's how you try to make the machines to be more intelligent. So I'm not getting into the details. You can find this online as well. But I'm going to finally touch upon the how AI and the role of AI in the decision sciences across the different industries plays an important role, and how these use cases are becoming increasingly popular in delivering new age solution or inventory order fulfillment or customer service, logistics. Every space of the industry today, you see there is a huge amount of focus of AI playing an important role. I'm just trying to touch upon the specific manufacturing area, digital twins, which is specifically hot. You have a physical entire uh, floor management system, which is trying to drive the different assembly of the units. With the help of the sensor things, you try to replicate that entire floor related operations into the digital aspects. You digitize it, and you try to identify the hotspots looking into the digital world and try to bridge the gap from the physical to digital. So the digital twin enable you to inspect the things what is happening on the physical floor and able to manage and proactively maintain the systems. Similarly, inventory management system, when you're trying to look how do you optimize and increase the agility of the inventory, plays an important role. Sales or e-commerce, you try to say, playing an important role in increasing the sales by rolling out the right offers, predicting the leads, and also trying to provide that leads to offer the things and recommending the things can increase the cross sell and upsell some of your items in the store. So similarly, looking into the customer service, which is becoming increasingly important, looking into the emotion aspects of the conversations, looking into the augmented messaging, you have an opportunity to analyze and improve the customer service and provide the right important information even before he anticipates. So these are the specific areas where I believe AI play an important role as part of the decision science. Every space where you need a decision to be made, AI has an impact. And why you need an AI, why human cannot do. Uh, if you really wanted to scale up your services, you wanted to deal with the large volumes of the data, uh, significantly, machines will play an important role. That is the reason I stated in the beginning of my talk. There's a machine-first delivery model which makes a remarkable impact in your decision making and improve the speed at which you're trying to make the decisions. And as we stated about autonomous vehicles also, many autonomous vehicles, when it is riding on the road, you need to deal with so many variable parameters. And the kind of an event which gets triggered, it's physically and humanly not possible for you to analyze everything. And that's where the machines can come handy to minimize the human error and increase the efficiency in making the decisions. So AI making a tremendous impact and a tremendous move, and it's becoming a game changer in the role of data and decision sciences. With that, I close my talk, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share the thoughts. Vijit, over to you. Sibani, over to you.
We are grateful to you, sir, for your illuminating words. I would now request our chief guest, Sri Rajesh Sharma, ITS Fellow, Senior Deputy Director General, Department of Telecommunication, Government of India, to address the gathering.
Yeah, very good morning to all the distinguished speakers here and all the attendees. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Biswajeet Pattanayak, President of ASBM University, who has given me this opportunity to be talking to you. It is really a pleasure to be here with you and to present the government's viewpoint, basically because I work in the government and especially in the telecom sector. So I think that I will focus my talk on the steps which are being taken by the government in this very important and very crucial and very transformative kind of initiative or the technology which has come about in the recent times. So I have heard our previous speakers, Shri Bala Prasad ji, Kalyan Shankar Roy ji, Anvesh Desai ji, and others who have really given great insights into the practical implementation of the technology and the use cases which are which their workplace has developed and which is of great use to everybody around. So to begin with, now how the telecom scenario, because I belong to the telecom world, so I would just take you back for a few minutes to where we started from. Somewhere around 80s, you would be aware that we had a huge demand for the and huge waiting list for the landline connections, and then the era of mobile came somewhere in the year 94 to 2000. We saw that the demand for mobile grew a lot, and then we had 2G technology, which was upgraded to 3G technology, and then now we are running in the 4G technology, and 5G is not very far away. Now, with this advancements in technology, they are providing the basic building block. They are providing the basic building block for use cases, which we talked about earlier. For example, the 5G technology, which is going to come up shortly, or it has already come up in many parts of the world, and we will be also auctioning the airwaves in some time. And it will be rolled out in India by the telcos as well as by the new players, the small players who are ready with their use cases with this 5G technology. Now, systematically, if we see how government has been doing, as many of you would be aware, that Niti Aayog in 2018 had taken a very proactive step and released a discussion paper on national strategy for AI, national strategy for artificial intelligence. Why was the need for such a national strategy? The thing is that AI is not just a technology. It is basically much more than it, because it affects everybody's lives. It affects a lot of other policies. So the challenge why this concentrated effort by the government was required was that we felt that there was a need for, there was a shortage of access, affordability, and inconsistency of skilled expertise in the field of artificial intelligence, which has to be tackled in a systematic manner. Then there is a issue of R&D, technology, and responsible applications, because the artificial intelligence provides you with huge data and huge insights. So how do you actually be responsible to this enormous power which is available in your hand? And the approach of the government, because whatever is useful for the industry, that will be adopted definitely by the industry, as we have already seen a lot of use cases which have come up. But the challenge before the government, or the approach which is there, is to identify sectors which have the potential of maximum externality. So maximum externality, that is the optimization of social good. So how do we dovetail this technology in such a way that it is actually able to contribute to social good? So that was the challenge before the government. And in this, we identified several sectors, the priority sectors. The report of Niti Aayog, if you see, it has identified the 5 sectors as healthcare, education, agriculture, smart city, and smart mobility and transportation. So these were chosen because of their involvement or the high externality associated with use cases, developing use cases in these areas. For example, if you take the case of health, as we all know, this pandemic that we are all facing has resulted in huge shortage of medical expertise across the country. And so there is a need because our existing infrastructure is not able to cope up. So how does artificial intelligence actually contribute towards meeting this challenge? So we have AI-driven diagnostics, personalized treatment, imaging diagnostics. So even if you send your images not to a doctor but to a expert system, and then it is able to diagnose and tell you, that takes some load off your healthcare system completely. And similarly, in the case of agriculture, as you are aware that there is a huge shortage of water resources for agriculture. So how can you predict whether the amount of water that you have put in a crop is optimum and will give you the maximum return? So the groundwater level should not decrease. How much pesticide you actually require, exact amount of pesticide you require. That can be one of the use cases for the artificial intelligence. Prediction of cropping, prediction of demand, so that our crops which our farmers grow actually fetch the correct price and are remunerative to them. So these are some of the challenges. For example, in smart transport. Smart transport, you see, you hear of autonomous fleets which are already there in Western countries. In India, perhaps we really don't require autonomous fleet because we have our own population. So maybe that is not the correct use case, but what we require perhaps is the predictive engineering monitoring and predictive maintenance of the vehicles, which will actually make us more reliable, our transport system more reliable and more smart. Similarly, in the case of retail, already examples are there. Personalized suggestions, preference-based browsing. We have image-based product search for the people who are not actually tech-savvy, and that also overcomes the language barrier. Suppose you don't know the name of the thing which you want to actually buy, and if you show the image to, let's say, Amazon, and actually that is able to find out and give you the give you an option for that. Similarly, the biggest use case which we have already seen proliferating across the industries is in banking and finance. Because banking and finance, we see any bank site, if you go, you see a chatbot there. And speaking to a chatbot is almost as good as conversing to a human being. So then there is a credit score, the fraud detection, also the rule-based back-end operations, which banks are using in a big way now. And they are able to make use of AI to improve their efficiencies. So basically, the bottom line of all the discussion is that the approach of the government is to look at AI plus X. So AI is artificial intelligence, and X is any application which is currently taking place. So our vision should be, how do you actually put AI in a process which is already currently taking place. So once we have that mindset and we have a policy in place which will encourage, which will in a systematic way, it will encourage the institutions and the government and the industry to work together. Maybe that will meet the objective, and that's what government is actually looking for. In recent times, you would have seen the steps which are taken. Our Honorable Minister of Electronics and IT and Communication, Law and Justice, he inaugurated a national knowledge portal along with responsible AI for youth. That is a program which has been inaugurated last year. Actually, the thinking behind this was that we want to launch a national artificial intelligence mission, which has a budget of about 7,000 CR, and it was to be started. It is to be started very shortly, and it is already announced. And I am sure that with this mission in place, which will actually look for some institutional centers for AI, as well as for platforms like you would have heard of cloud computing platform, AIRAWAT, which has recently been announced, because cloud is a very important component for artificial intelligence. The storage has become much cheaper, the computation has become much faster. So all these are the drivers which are promoting or driving the artificial intelligence ecosystem in the country. And the government is actually looking at all possible ways in which the power of artificial intelligence can be used for transforming the life of the common citizens. I must say that attending this is a very enriching experience for me personally, and I'm sure that such knowledge sharing sessions would go a long way in building a consensus or building a awareness among the not only academics but also the industry and the institutions and the government to work together and go towards a very concentrated effort in leveraging artificial intelligence for national good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request the chairperson of the NSAI and DS, Professor Biswajeet Pattanayak, President of ASBM University, to introduce the theme of the symposium.
Well, esteemed chief guest, Dr. Sharma, the other dignitaries, Mr. Dasari, Mr. Bala, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kalyan Shankar Rai, the coordinator of this National Symposium, Professor Abhijit Mandal and Dr. Jhum Swai, the other dignitaries, those are attending this particular symposium, my dear students, faculty colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I think I must appreciate the efforts put in by ASBM School of Information System for organizing this national symposium on a very pertinent topic, that is artificial intelligence and decision science. The theme of the symposium is basically smart decision, data science and artificial intelligence. I think the speakers in the morning session, all of them, they have given a beautiful perspective to the whole theme of the symposium, and they have brought in a lot of practical application of AI and decision science, how it operates and how it is impacting the life through different applications developed by different industries. A lot of case studies have been presented, and I am thankful to all the speakers for bringing such a erudite content to the National Symposium. In fact, the basic question is why there would be decision science. Why there is decision science? All of us, we know that we are living in a 100% data-based world today. And decision making is the key issue in every sphere of life. We take n number of decisions day in, day out, starting from early morning tea till the dinner and going to sleep. Many times we decide that whether I will take a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, or I don't want to take anything. All these decisions are not that important in terms of the impact at large. So we call it as routine decisions. There are decisions which are very important in organizational point of view, in society point of view, in larger decision-making process point of view, and those decisions are called strategic decisions. And strategic decisions, unless it is being taken based on some data, homework, and with the highest amount of precision, there is a possibility that we may commit mistakes. For example, a small activity like flying an aircraft. We all travel by air, and we have seen that once we are in the air, we have no control unless there is a efficient pilot who flies the aircraft. So the entire flying of the aircraft today is a programmable decision making. And all the strategic decisions have been shifted to more of an artificial intelligence rather than natural or genuine or human decisions. That doesn't mean I am saying that the pilot doesn't take any decision. Sometimes when the technology fails, the natural and genuine intelligence, it comes to play, and there is no substitute. The artificial intelligence is not the substitute of natural and genuine intelligence. But why we need, that is a basic fundamental question. Now, you would be surprised that every day 2.5 multiplication by 1018 byte data is created. Imagine the volume of data is created. This raw data, which is created every single day, is referred to as big data. You know, we may think that this data has no meaning, but if we look at the presentation of our speakers in this particular session, then we can realize that how important is the big data and big data analysis. Look at the election. I think of late in last 10 years, if we look at the election in our country, one of the largest democracy in the world, more than 130 crores people, and by and large, the campaign, the election strategy are driven by artificial intelligence. It is basically analyzing big data and then developing strategy which are being implemented by the political parties, which was not there, I think, 3 decades before. Similarly, when we say artificial intelligence, or we say algorithm, we say machine learning, or we say analytics, these are basically different tools of decision science. And today, we cannot afford to take decision physically in a natural process when so many data to be analyzed, so many data to be interpreted. So therefore, it's a very important subject, and I have seen that how it has been integrated to different subjects of management, including the HR. You know, the domain wherein I work, I have seen that in last 2 decades, in fact, most of the functions of HR has been driven by artificial intelligence. Whether you call it talent acquisition, we call it selection process, or employee retention and engagement. Heavily, it has been backed by the different modules of artificial intelligence. In fact, large corporations, when they have applications more than 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs every year, it is not possible for a human being to scrutinize, to make shortlist, and then conduct interviews. So today, many organizations, whether we call it Coca-Cola or we call it the Unilever, they are using artificial intelligence technique in HR, in different HR functions, to make the decisions more effective. I think we have taken a decision, and we have introduced a very important programs both in undergraduate and postgraduate level on artificial intelligence and decision science. And I'm sure that this particular symposium and the kind of deliberations, this will help our university, our faculty team to take it forward and to add substantial value in developing the content and the delivery pattern of the courses which we are intending to introduce from 2021 academic session. So with these few words, I think I thank the coordinators of this program, and I thank Dr. Sharma and all the speakers, Mr. Dasari and Mr. Bala, for sparing their valuable time to be with us, and also sharing their experiments which they have done. And I feel that tomorrow would be the era of artificial intelligence, and this will be a great enabler in decision-making process of large corporations. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. The inaugural ceremony has now come to an end. I request the thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Sri Anvesh Dasari Garu. Here I would like to mention about what sir had to say, such as data science and AI comes into picture where we have lots of data. Sir also highlighted about smart advisors where it can give invest, or where we can invest our money on which stock. So everything is nowadays becoming smart and autonomous. Sir has already developed some products such as adaptive traffic control system ATCS, smart mailbox and smart inventory, etc. I also wish to express my gratitude to our first guest of honor, Sri Balaprasad Pedigari Garu, where sir had highlighted on chatbot Amyaka, where the chatbot can inform about the daily schedules, meetings, and even related to credentials. And finally, I'm also grateful to our second guest of honor, Shri Rajesh Sharma ji, to enlighten us with meaningful insights on AI and decision science. Sir had focused on smart mobility, rule-based backend services, and so on. I would also like to take this opportunity to place on record my hearty thanks to President Sir for the perfect logistics support and guidance, VC Sir and Pro VC Ma'am for their enormous cooperation in the organization of this symposium. Finally, I would extend my thanks to all my faculty colleagues, management and technical staff of this university, my students, research scholars, and finally all the participants for participating and patiently hearing, without which this symposium event would not have been a successful one. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bala, Mr. Dasari, and Dr. Rajesh Sharma, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit, and best wishes for the symposium forward.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Salman. Thank you, Mr. Dasari. Thank you, Mr. Balaprasad. On behalf of ASBM University, I convey our sincere gratitude and thanks to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.